This week we're on the Ayrshire coast in West Kilbride, so I can catch an exhibition of one of Europe's most sought after artworks, Irish ceramics. West Kilbride is a village full of culture. It has been designated as Craft Town Scotland. The studios that line this seaside village form a part of the community. And at the end of the road, the Barony Centre, where I'll be meeting Maggie Broadley, director of the centre, and a ceramicist herself. So Maggie, we're through here, are we?
Yep, this is us.
Right, let's go through then. After you.
Great.
Oh, this is a nice space.
It is, isn't it brilliant? We're absolutely thrilled with the space. It's a wonderful combination of the old church building and new contemporary interventions.
Yeah, I really like it. It's really nice. Now, the first thing that I wanted to look at was this chap over here. Now, this is about rubbernecking, apparently, which is that thing where if there's a car crash, everybody rolls up and pulls out their mobile phones. And I quite like the way that because that's exactly what you would do, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you were kind of going to take a picture.
I quite like the way also that, the phone's slightly to the side and he's not actually looking through the camera or the phone camera lens. He's actually staring out into whatever it is that he's obviously interested in. But there's also a slightly, I wouldn't say sinister, but a slightly vacant look to him as he's gazing at whatever's going on.
I like it. It's kind of strange because he's very kind of chunky and kind of square. And it's very kind of, is it all right to touch it?
Yes,
very
it is. Since it's you.
It's kind of rough.
Yeah.
But it's kind of matte. I like it.
Yeah, there's a nice tactile quality to it. As well.
Even though you're not supposed to touch them.
No, exactly. No. But as I said, since it's you.
Since it's me. Now, the other thing that I really liked the look of was this plaque on the wall, which you can tell me more about it. But I mean, it strikes me as a kind of Greco-Roman kind of thing that you would see with the kind of relief figures, but you've got a guy in a centaur, you've got a car, a set of traffic lights, and I'm not quite sure what this one's all about.
It's actually very interesting that you say that, because if you examine what a lot of these classical Greek carvings and marbles were, they were all about depicting scenes from mythology. This, in fact, John Rainey, he's very, very interested in the photographic image and the connection between the activity, the event, and then the still image capturing that event. But he really then likes playing around with different materials. So there's clay, there's glass, these are photographic images that have been transferred onto the glass.
Because you get some bits that are matte and other bits that are kind of shiny. So
he's playing in that whole idea of a story, the image, and then capturing that, and what's the relationship between that frozen image and the event.
Now, the third thing that I wanted to look at, this I must admit didn't strike me as being ceramic. And I must be honest, when I first saw it, there were two things. One, that it was so small, because I thought it was going to be much larger from the photograph and the brochure. And two, I must be honest, it reminds me of a kind of chicken coop. So what is it, Maggie?
Well, this is work by Frances Brosnan, and she's very influenced by Korea.
Right.
And shanty towns and the way that people in this kind of environment have to actually make their dwellings from rubbish, basically, bits of tin, other pieces.
Whatever they have to hand.
Exactly. Really. So, and I really, really like the way she's used materials very carefully here, considered again that, there's the little bamboo legs on the hut, if you like, but she's then used porcelain, which is a really, really delicate and difficult material to work with, and that's to symbolise the fragility of life for a lot of people living in these shanty towns.
Yeah, I get that.
Artists have got very much ideas about, in their own minds, how what they want to express within the work, and then the audience can just come along and totally subvert that. And actually, as a maker myself, I've found a great source of inspiration when someone's come along and totally flipped what I thought I've said in a piece on its head, and it actually can send me off in another direction.
So is that an important consideration when you're setting up an exhibition space like this?
My way is I look at materials, and there'll be some form of unifying element. It might be I've concocted a story in my own head, or it may well be, the kind of textures and the subtle colours in this arrangement work, and then I'll look on other pieces. Sometimes it'll be pieces that work well together, others you'll put pieces together which are very different and contrasting. And then there's another element, which is the space, and how all the pieces relate to the space and one another within the space. So endless hours of arranging and rearranging, which is one of the joys actually about
very interesting.
Having such a lovely space to work in.
Yeah, it is a nice space. Yeah. And I like the way you put everything together. It really works well.
Away from West Kilbride now to Ayr, where Stuart McLennan is meeting a group of TV students who are making their own way in the industry.
Breaking into the world of television is harder than it's ever been, but some students are taking the initiative to produce their very own TV show. I'm here at UWS to meet with Stephen Black, executive producer of Ward 27. Let's ask him a few questions. Stephen.
Hi Stuart,
Nice
good to see you.
Yep. So first of all, Stephen, I'd just like to know a little bit behind Ward 27. It's like not your usual music program. What was the idea behind making that little bit different?
Well, the idea really came from the music show that we done last year. Basically, we found that as good as they were, they were student productions, so they weren't going to be setting the world on fire, but we felt that there was a flatness to them. And when we put our heads together, we tried to think of a way that we could put a wee bit of vibrancy and energy into the show. So we just came up with, almost out of nowhere, I really don't remember what sparked it, with the idea that they would leave the performance area and be taken to another part of the set, which would be like a doctor's surgery.
So, the idea behind Stuart's character, the doctor psychiatrist, he is a bit out there. How do bands generally receive him? Is it?
Yeah, it's something that we were scared a wee bit about, because we didn't know how to take it. And something that we discussed was how much of it should we let the band in on? How aware of the situation should they be? Obviously, if they're coming off set and they're walking into a doctor's surgery, what we hope looks like a doctor's surgery, then they're going to think, well, this isn't a normal interview. So hopefully they're quick enough, sharp enough to realise what's going on, and then they join in. Basically, what we wanted for the viewers was something a wee bit more exciting than asking a band, oh, what made you play this song? And for the band, we wanted them basically to have fun, and almost as if they were, every week, the guest would be walking in on a comedy sketch and taking part in it and finding out a wee bit about themselves and having fun while they're doing it.
You just tell me a little bit about the facilities here and how important they are to you.
Yeah, well, that was one of the key things that inspired us to do it, basically, if I can use such a silly word as inspire in this context. Because the facilities are here, and this kind of opportunity to have this kind of creative control over this kind of environment, the kind of gallery that we have has got a lot of moving buttons and exciting things, and it's quite a vibrant place for people to come in and work. The opportunity for us to have this amount of power is 5-10 years down the line, so it's quite important for us to come in, I think, and make use of this space while we can, while it's available to us. And hopefully, one of the things that we were a wee bit fearful of was could we get the bodies to build it? Could we bring people in on their time off? Like, no, all that you're getting out of this is experience, really, but that's what we're trying to sell it to our classmates on. This show is going on the internet, and we're going to try and put as much of the production side of it up on the internet as well, so that the people from the course that come in and help us can basically go forward and show almost a live CV to potential employers. Like, this is something that I've contributed to with no budget, off my own time and look how good it is. That's the key for us. We want it to look. We want people to be proud to say that they worked on this at some stage.
So realistically, Stephen, how far can the show go? Are you looking to do further collaborations with people within the uni, developing more ideas?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what we're looking to do. I mean, one of the things that the crew and myself have found the most invigorating is working with performers and other creative people, particularly somebody like Stuart, an actor. And I think that the idea, this is very early stages, but the idea that we would like to develop is maybe some small webisodes with Stuart, not like it is just now, but more of a dramatic, like a comedy series of maybe have people come in to see him and see where that would go.
Yeah. So presumably when people are seeing the show online, that might influence them to maybe contact you and hopefully get involved that way.
Well, in terms of the show in its current format, yeah, I mean, hopefully people will see that it's quite energetic and they'll want their bands to get on and get noticed in this way. But moving on from the show, the future I think will be more. It'll be more like actors and that kind of sense. It'll be more scripted.
Yeah. Is there a danger of the comedy outweighing the music though?
At the moment, I think that we're at such an early stage in our ideas and our creativity that, the two of them should be pretty much the same. I mean, we recently had a band in, though, who were quite tight, and they'd obviously been on a lot of TV shows, and that was quite scary because they were, really, to be honest with you, they were probably too big for us to be in the show. So, yeah, I would say that the music overtook the comedy at that stage, and possibly you could say it was an uncomfortable marriage in that particular episode because they were maybe not the kind of band that the show was maybe designed for. But I mean, when we had a development team meeting afterwards, we felt the first thing that we said was we probably bit off more than we could chew with that one. But then we all agreed that we had to do that. That's what we had to do to progress the show. You have to keep taking yourself out of your comfort zone, and that's what makes you more creative. And once you do that, then the level of the show will start to come up.
Thanks to Stephen Black and Maddie Broadley for joining us this week. You've been watching Mind Culture. See you next time.